Nick Rhodes and early Duran Duran frontman Stephen Duffy, or Duffy as he would call himself, formed a band called The Devils and released an album called The Dark Circles. What this was early Duran Duran material that never got to see the light of day. Well, in this video, I'm going to review that album, and we're going to find out together what Duran Duran sounded like before Duran Duran was Duran Duran. Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Mug Music. The Devils album, Dark Circles, was brought to my attention by a subscriber of Red Mug Music, and I thought it was really interesting that I had never heard about this before, so I wanted to talk about this album and do a quick review so I can expose them to, to more people, just in case you wanted to know. In 1978, 1979, Duran Duran's first lineup was founders Nick Rhodes and Nigel Taylor, which we know as John Taylor, and Simon Colley, and also Stephen Duffy as lead singer. And they had recorded music and performed this music live and did a pretty good job. But all this music that they had recorded went with Stephen and Simon when they left the band. So that was move of the century, wasn't it? Leaving Duran Duran. But they ended up taking this music with them, so that's why we've never heard this music before. But in 1999, Stephen Duffy he ran across this music, and then shortly after that, ran into Nick Rhodes. Well, Nick and Stephen starts talking about this this music, and they decided they were going to record it, finally release this music that no one's ever heard of. Well, except for the people that watched him live back in 1978 and 1979. But unfortunately, John Taylor isn't on this album, nor is Simon Colley. It's just Stephen Duffy and Nick Rhodes. I'll put some links down below to this music, to whatever I can find so you can listen to it. And you can comment down below after you listen to it and tell me what you think. But let's go ahead and start talking about this album. Hey, I would appreciate if you would like the video. That's all you got to do. Just like the video. You can even share it with somebody if you know someone who would think it's pretty cool to learn about music that Duran Duran had done back in 1978, 1979. So like and share. All right, on with the video. Track number 1 is called Memory Places. They start the album with an instrumental. And, it's just got a beat, it's got a lot of keyboards. And what you hear in the beginning is actually what they had recorded in 1978 on this tape deck. So that's why the quality sounds the way it does, but I'm actually into it. The song really doesn't last that long, but I think it's a really good start to the album. Track number 2 is called Big Store. Big Store, this one immediately makes me think about Invisible. From Duran Duran's newest album, the way Nick Rhodes is playing the keyboard. Listen to it and tell me if it doesn't remind you of that. It absolutely does. The guitar is played by Stephen Duffy, and I find it to be very simple. Big Store per Stephen Duffy has a really stupid guitar riff and really stupid lyrics, but together, per Nick Rhodes, it makes the song fabulous. I do find the lyrics to be quite cringy, to be honest, but I do understand they wrote this back in the 70s, late 70s, when they were much younger, but the lyrics are definitely not that great. I do like the backup singers, and overall, I actually, even though I'm kind of complaining about the song, it's got a good sound. It's a good track. I find the song quite enjoyable. Track number 3 is title track, Dark Circles. I really enjoy the segue going from track 2 into track 3. Really nice transitioning here. When I listen to the song, I really think, wow, this would have been a really good Simon Le Bon song. And it sounds like something that we would have heard like on a 90s or maybe a late 80s Duran Duran album. But the music definitely outperforms the vocals, in my opinion. And what the song needed was a nice melodic bridge or a nice melodic chorus to kind of break up the verses. That would have made the song so much better. Signals and Smoke is the 4th track on the album. Clearly a noticeable synthesizer drum, has a really nice musical build up in the beginning. It's very moody, has lots of development. And I think Stephen Duffy's vocals fit perfectly in this track. But, once his vocals come in, it's well into the song. And I feel like once they start, the song's pretty much over. So I find it an odd track, but I did enjoy it. The fifth track is called Come Alive. Come Alive. In this song, I hear Roxy Music influences for sure. I know Duran Duran was influenced by Roxy Music, but I can hear it in this song. But what is up with this auto-tune? When you hear this, I'm kind of curious on why they did the auto-tune. I assume it's because he went up an octave and maybe he's just not able to really hang there like he needs to. So they did this auto-tune, but I'm not sure about that. The song sounds good in general, but the lyrics, again, are not good. But the bridge I do find enjoyable. So, for the most part, I like Come Alive. The sixth track on the album is called Hawks Do Not Share. This is the strangest song title I've ever heard. It's actually considered the most goth track on the album per Nick Rhodes. This one was done early on and in the recordings in 1978 and set the standard of what they wanted to do, how they wanted to sound. And at times I'm actually reminded, I hear Nine Inch Nails here and there, but I'd love to know the motivation behind the song title. It's just very strange to me. Surely there's a deeper meaning that I just don't know anything about. And when I'm listening to the song, I think maybe like 3/4 of the way through, it would have been nice to hear just a nice rock drum. I don't think it would have really matched up very well with the rest of the album, but I think it would have sounded really good on this song, just how I hear it. The seventh track on the album is called Newhaven-Dieppe, D-I-E-P-P-E, no clue how to say it. Comment down below if you want to take a shot at it. This is probably the most conventional commercial sounding song on the album. It sounds like maybe they were polishing this one up to be released as a single. Maybe it was released. I have no idea. And to me, it doesn't even sound like Stephen Duffy. It's just, but it is a good track. I like this song a lot. Track number 8 is called World Exclusive. Not a big fan of the group effort vocals. Don't like that very much. And I find the verses to be underwhelming, which means that I would need a good pre-chorus or a good chorus to kind of level this out, but I don't get that either. What comes to mind at this point is we're just dealing with someone that's just really not that great musically. I hate to say this about Stephen Duffy, but I just don't think he was, we don't know who he is. We only know him because he was a lead singer of Duran Duran before they became the Duran Duran that we know, but I just don't think he was that talented. But even though I don't really think Stephen Duffy was that good of a musician, that good of a singer, that good of a lyricist, I still like the album. But apparently because of Nick Rhodes, I think he did a fantastic job, and I really enjoy the album because of him. The 9th track on the album is called Aztec Moon. The Devils come across in this song as like a Love and Rockets cover band that doesn't do Love and Rockets music. And I'm doing a lot of complaining, but whenever I listen to this album, non-critically, when I just listen to it to enjoy it, I like the album. But whenever I listen to the album critically to do a review, I started noticing it's really not good. And I hate that I'm reviewing it this way, but it's the truth. The 10th track on the album is called Lost Decade. This one's pretty good, actually. I would consider this a single as well. I think it has a really good hook, and Duffy's voice is actually very, very well fitted for this song. And per Duffy, this song was a lot more sophisticated than their other tracks, and I absolutely agree. Track number 11 is called Barbarellas. This could easily be an REM ballad, like later REM in their career. I could hear Michael Stipe sing this song. And I think it would have sounded really good if he did. The keyboard hook is a little overused. I actually, this is my first complaint of Nick Rhodes. I think he overused this hook. And the song is actually kind of boring and redundant. Michael Stipe would have pulled it off, but Stephen Duffy absolutely did not. And the last track, which is track number 12, they actually close, the bookends are instrumentals, and this one is instrumental, called the Tinsel Ritual. It's perfectly fine that they ended the album at this point. I enjoy it, but there's just really not a whole lot I can say about it. It's a good way to end the album. If you've heard this album, or if you have this album, because it was released in the UK and then it was released in the US in 2003. If you have this album, I'd love to know if you own this album. Comment down below. Or after you listen to it, in the links down below in the description, let me know if you like the album. Again, like I said, I enjoyed it from like afar, when I was just leisurely listening to it. But whenever I listened to it critically, it changed my whole opinion. And hopefully it doesn't mess me up for being able to listen to it from here on going forward. But we'll see. Well, that's it. That's my review of the album. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, just take a second and just do a quick like on the video. That would be fantastic. I surely would appreciate it. And I'm on Twitter at RedMugMusic. I'm on Instagram at RedMugMusic.